I was asked to make a demon. That demon. It's a Christmas present. Don't get asked to make demons for Christmas very often. Hey YouTube, if I look a little crooked, it's because the camera got knocked over by my wife's big stupid dog and now it's crooked. What are we doing today? Well, this video might not show until right around Christmas or just after Christmas because it's a present for somebody that I'd hate for them to find it while I was recording, you know, and then have it spoiled because she knows who I am and she knows her dad knows me, and yeah, so so anyway, I got a really strange text from a client. He says, hey, can you build one of these? And it's a little picture of this thing called Cipher. It's some sort of cartoon character from, I felt really bad because I used to know all the cartoons, but these things that are coming out now, I have no idea. It's something called Gravity Falls or something. I don't know. But he's this demon, and he's based on the all-seeing eye from the, you know, like the back of your dollar bill and that kind of stuff. And anyway, he sent me a picture of this thing. It was a little statue. I guess he turns into stone and at some point, and he wants to build a 40-inch tall version of this creature. And so we're going to build one. I got a drawing just to get the important bits laid out. That's basically what he looks like. You know, as always, I'm willing to fudge some of those, but I spent the morning picking up the wood. The bulk of it, the basic body of it's going to be MDF. We're going to use probably some steel for the legs, and arms, which aren't in that drawing, but it's got simple pipe cleaner limbs and stuff, typical cartoon type stuff. So I'm not real sure how I'm going to make the hands yet. I'm not real sure how I'm going to make the feet. I'm not real sure how I'm going to make the eye. Pretty good idea how I'm going to make the eye, but that's what we're doing today. I got to finish up this table here. This is the second time I've had this table in. If you go looking way back, you'll see where I re-glued this table before here, and then the lady that owns it, the client, she moved and it got split here, and the leaf, it completely fell apart, and so I gotta put it back together just to get it out of the way, and then I'll put it back in the truck and take the stuff out of the truck. And I got some swapping to do, and I need to move this. This is the Twilight Zone gauge setting here on my table, which upsets me greatly because I'd like to get this thing out of here. It's this kind of this recurring nightmare, but right now it's just in the way. So I'm gonna see if I can set it aside so I can use this table to build this teeny tiny demon. So anyway, let's get started. got to thinking, I may just change the format of these videos. I might, because I noticed that a lot of the comments that I've been getting on these videos are almost like they're kind of like how-to, and people are learning things from them, which I didn't start making videos as ever to educate people, because I didn't think I had anything to educate them about, and I'm certainly not qualified, but I'm going to maybe talk through these steps that I'm doing, and less music video and more of a how-to format. So what we're doing right now, this is our little demon, and his base is supposed to look like bricks. And all I'm doing, hang on here, let's get you into position. All right, so his base is supposed to be like bricks, and most of the stuff that I ran across, they don't ever show this, or they do, they don't, sometimes, I don't know. But, you know, in the cartoon, these are in there, and I've tried to emulate them, and all I'm doing is using a relatively dull, not on purpose, but it is dull, quarter-inch straight cutting bit in the router, and laying these things out and more or less centering them. And what we'll do is I kind of line it up just over. I keep it tipped up off the work, fire it up. This has got a soft start on this little router, so just like that. There you go. I'll land one more on this side, and then I've got to do the one on the back, and then I'm going to do some along the edges. So. Before I move to the back, I'm going to go ahead and glue this eye down. You saw how I made it with we just glued two pieces of that MDF together, and I used the grinder on the sanding on the grinder. I got a little cleanup to do with it with the chisel and some sanding still, but all of that can be done in place on here. So I'm going to go ahead and position it, glue it down, and then we're going to get this out of the way, and I'm going to route the other side, the back side. So let me do that. So hey YouTube, it's the next day. Last night my battery died on the phone, on the camera, and then it was just getting dark, too dark to really film out here. So I went ahead and I finished up the little brick lines and stuff like that on here. The back is just kind of stuck. It's not glued yet. It's just stuck on there. I've got basically my table is totally ruined because I covered it up again. Got my eye, you know, we made that yesterday. I cut the top here because we're going to I have to make a mount for the top hat, and I cut my round for the top hat right here. I have to make the rest of the top hat. It's going to be more of this stuff here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a hole saw and just cut circles and then build it all the way up. Originally I was thinking about making it hollow. I thought about a whole bunch of things, and I was like, you know, it'd just be easier to make it solid. And so that's what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna run a bolt all the way through, and inside there'll be I'll put an anchor so I can bolt the whole thing together and glue and all that kind of stuff. And then we need to work on the arms and the legs. I have a change of plans here. I was cutting this, and with the hole saw, this is a 4-inch hole saw here. which gives me about the right size circle, but the problem is it only cuts so deep before the blade just totally plugs up. So and it's just too slow. So what we're going to use is this thing. I think this is called a fly cutter or some such thing. I don't know. I know it'll put a scar in your thumb. I don't know if you can see that, but that was courtesy of my dad. We were using it one time. He was using it, and I came out and was watching, and it was one of those deals where we had a process. We had we were doing stuff, and it was in a particular order, and then the last one that he was cutting, the last part, whatever it happened to be, I don't even remember what it was, he was cutting, but the very last one, he decided to do it different. And yeah, so anyways, he snagged, this thing just came around and ripped a hole in my finger, and there was blood everywhere. Like 2.5. Oh, no. I said it wrong. Alright, let's redo that. You can see I cut it, this cutter is set this way, so it cut and it left a little thing here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to flip the cutter around so it cuts this part first, so then it'll be clean. And I set the stupid thing the wrong size anyway, so. That'll work. Run this cutter out just a touch further. Not that far. Okay, so all I'm doing right now is tightening this nut. You can see it pulling this piece of all thread through. I should have probably measured it instead of just running it so long, but you know, whatever. We're going to, that will pull all this stuff together so it clamps it, so we don't need to have a clamp. But then all I got to do is put the last one on, and then when it's all cured, we'll sand it and clean it up and stuff. And then it gets, of course, it gets skimmed like everything. You know, the whole thing is going to get skimmed in that putty, and all the joints filled and hidden. And then once we start doing the finish on it, it'll start looking like stone. Okay. It's a kind of a wet, drippy day on here in Baker's Patch, California, the armpit of the central San Joaquin Valley. Where are we at? I've been faffing about here. I got a base roughed out, sitting over there on that table saw drying. I'm getting ready to make the legs and the arms. So I took a piece of this. This is a 1-inch mechanical tubing. It's not very thick walled. I don't remember the wall thickness, like 0.65 or something like that. And I just ran it through the good old handy dandy Harbor Freight ring roller just to put a slight curve in it. So what I'm going to do now is put it here on the little saw. We're going to cut some legs. We got the legs bolted back here. I'm getting ready to position him on this base, and what I'm doing is I'm kind of looking to see more or less centered, but I don't want him just square on the base. We want a little bit of a rake to it, and just a little bit of an angle. But what we've got, you can see, there's a whole total arc, a little bit of an arc to him. So he's a little bit, kind of looks like he's, got a little bit of a balance to him. So. Yeah, we're just kind of looking this over. I'm getting ready, I'm going to mark it. I think that's about where I want it. I think the base is going to get a lot of sanding, but I think I might turn that because that's pretty, I think I'll put this is the worst of it. I'll put that in the back, but anyway, we're going to position that and then drill those holes, and I'll bolt it temporarily so it's actually got a proper position to stand, and then we're going to work on the arms. All right, for those of you who don't know how to make hands, get in line. I think this is what we're going to do. I threw this funny little curve on the compact bender, and this is a piece, I don't know what this is, 3/4 inch solid bar. Anyways, this makes up the pinky, and then we're going to come around here. I'm going to cut this off probably about here, and that'll be the thumb. And then what we'll do is we cut 2 more bars to make the index and middle finger. So then we're going to massage this down, throw a weld in there, a couple of welds, and then see if we can smooth it out. And then we'll do a lot of final shaping with actually just the putty. But yeah. All right, that is Bill's Cipher right there. I'm gonna come back with some putty and clean these up, and we're gonna put putty all over the whole thing and give him some texture, and cute little bow tie. And there's his feet, and I gotta reinforce the bottom so it doesn't flex and stuff. We got the back put on. These are bolted in, you know, like really, really hard. And tomorrow I'm gonna be out, and we're gonna start sanding him out, getting all the sanding done, the putty, and then we're gonna start doing the finish, which he's supposed to look like stone when we're done, and hopefully I can pull that off. So anyway, pick this up tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow came and went, and the next day, but I did capture a few stills. This is the putty on the creature, and then immediately followed by a couple of coats of primer. I don't know why it shows up here in this next photo. It shows up a little rough, but anyway, yeah, it was primed, and then we moved to the basement, and the video that I shot in the basement is just absolute trash. So yeah. All right, the lighting in here is absolute garbage, at least for the video. But we've finally got the demon here, the Bill Cipher. He's all painted up. I just painted in a few little cracks, and what I've done is I primered it with just the entire surface got primered. And then I sprayed it with this stuff here. And this mostly was for the texture, a little bit for the base color, but mostly for the texture. So it has that stone feel. And then what I did was I went over it with some, just a little bit of an off-white for some highlights and some variation. And then I went through and took oh gosh, what was it? I don't remember, I think it was a burnt umber or something like that, thinned it out, got in the cracks, and then mixed up some green, some dark green to kind of get in here, because he's been setting in the moss and stuff like that supposedly. And then I hit it with a light green, kind of an unnatural green, just highlight some of the ridges and features. And then I came back and painted a few little cracks. I don't know if that's showing up. There he is, yeah. So a few little cracks, and that one I'm not real happy with. But anyway, I'll get some better pictures here in a moment. But yeah, now I just have to figure out how to get him to his owner, so that, because this is Christmas Eve and they live in the mountains and it snowed and I'm not sure the roads are open. So anyways, we've got to figure out how to get it to its new owner. So anyway, he's done.